On this episode of All the Mods 10, we set up an Apotheosis Spawner to spawn any kind of mob, go to the end, get creative flight, set up an infinite way of getting lava, and use that to generate power with Magmators for the builder to quarry in the mining dimension. Hi there, welcome back. We are picking up right where we left off in the last episode, back from our adventure to get the Vibranium pickaxe. And next, I want to set up a couple of things to get ready to do our power generation, which we're going to be using Magmators. And I need lots of blaze rods because Powah is blaze rod heavy, and I'll need some ender pearls as well because I accidentally used them up without keeping track of it. So we can't use the gateway because this requires 5 ender pearls and we don't have enough. We need 2 more. So my mistake on that one. But what we can do is actually set up a spawner and to get a few more ender pearls, and then we can go ahead and go to the end. So let's do that. And then we'll need a comparator to enable redstone control. With this guy. So we set down the spawner, let's say right here, but now it can only be activated with a lever. And we want to turn it into an Enderman one. So we'll need a bucket. And I did swab a Enderman. Let's grab another swab, because we'll need to do it again. And we can pick up our experience from there and combine it with the seed. And we will get a GM chicken feed for an Enderman. And now we need to find a chicken. Let's also swab a chicken. All right, here's a chicken. We're going to make sure to swab it first because we're going to make a chicken spawner too, so we don't have to keep looking for them. And when you feed the GM chicken feed, you'll get spawn egg of whatever monster that you swabbed. And we can go ahead and put this side of there. Now we have an Enderman spawner. But we want to upgrade this with a few more things. And also, we want a little bit of protection. But you can see, well, let's grab the echo shards. And this will give looting. Does it only stop at 3 now? Unbelievable. It used to go up to 5. Yeah, max value 3. Unbelievable. Okay, so then we also need sugar to make it run faster. And this can go down to 20. Then we will need clocks for the other one. Stone. Okay, so that's 2020, which will spawn really quickly. We want to put dripstone, and this will reduce their initial health down to 20. Then what else do we want? Let's grab a soul lantern. This will make sure that light levels are not needed, ignores light conditions. And then we want to make some fermented spider eyes to increase the spawn count. I believe 16 is the max. There it goes. Okay. And then max entities requires gas tiers. I found a bunch of gas tiers in chests in the nether. So the only thing that would be really nice is the no AI one, which requires a chorus fruit. Obviously, we don't have access to that yet, but we can spawn these guys, hopefully. The first time you turn it on after you change the delays, it's going to take a while. But you can see as we kill these guys, we get a lot more ender pearls. Because of the the soul looting, the echo shards we put in there. Okay, that should be enough for us to make the explorer's compass, which requires a recovery compass. And then we need netherite and also enderium. And the enderium requires lead dust and platinum dust. Do we have lead? I don't think we have that anywhere. We have 4 lead. More lead. Let me go find some lead real quick. Alrighty, some lead later, we have enough enderium to go ahead and make the explorer's compass. And this is a nice tool because you can just search structures like the stronghold. Not that one. It's the one from Young's mod. It's only 1,000 blocks away. So we're gonna head over in that direction, and we also want a waystone. Alright, it seems the stronghold is underwater right around here. I think we'll be okay if we just dig a couple blocks this way. Oops. Let's try that again. All right, now that we're in here, here is, if you look on journey map, we can see that the portal room is right there. So we can access it easily, hopefully. Straight ahead. Okay, and we put this guy down, and this is the stronghold. And now we need some pearls. Let's grab some glass bottles to collect dragon's breath. We don't need a ton of those, actually. But now that we have the warp thing, you can see that we have access to it even in the end, so that is pretty great. And we don't actually need to kill the dragon. I just need some chorus fruit, but we can. We don't even need to spawn him. Let's go home and fill up our guy. Oops, goes over there. Blood. And we can just fly in any direction eastward. Sounds good. And then we'll hit the end islands. And just like that, we have reached the edge. I wanted to search this ship because it typically has a map to an end city, and that would be good to find, because not only will it contain forest fruit around it, it will also have, hopefully, a dragon head. This will be good enough for now, I think. Our room is absolute garbage, and I don't have the patience to keep using it. So we're going to go back home and get creative flight with the pylons. So we need a potion of flying, which is popped chorus fruit. So let's get that going. And then we're going to put one inside of our spawner, and now it has no AI, which means when the mobs spawn, they don't do anything. All right, so we're gonna need 1 hour of duration, and this will get 3 of them from the potion brewer. Brewing stand. We need blaze rods or blaze powder. And bottles. I know we need 2 redstone. We need the phantom membrane. We need nether wart. Pop chorus. Fermented spider eye. That should be good. Okay. So we'll get this going. And while that's happening, let's make our pylon. We need the infusion pylon, which will require some quartz slabs. Those guys. And we will also need the potion filter, which requires clay. Okay, so we take the potion filter, and when our potions are ready, we're going to drink the potion and then right click on the potion filter, and it will go in there, and it'll start accumulating the time in there up to 1 hour. And once it has a full 1 hour timer inside accumulated, then the potion filter will be activated, and we will basically have cross-dimensional light forever. It's never going to wear out. So just like that. So we drink it and put it in the potion filter, and you can see that 1799 seconds. So we got 29 minutes and 59 seconds stored in there. So we do that. There we go. And this last one. And now this is a potion filter for the potion effect flying, and it's activated. And once we put it in there, you can see that the owner is the Voos. And now we can fly. So we essentially have creative flight unlocked now. And we can go back and fly towards this thing, which was going up north. Oops. And hopefully, oh, this looks like the worst end city in the world. Seriously. We can grab a swab and go ahead and swab the shulkers. Those guys sound funny. Let's grab a couple land rods. And how about some purple blocks? Ooh, that's a good one. I will put on the purple helmet. And then oak skin used to be good. You used to be able to, it didn't give you the minus speed debuff, but it would do the damage reduction, and you could actually level up to 100% damage reduction and then become invincible, which was broken, so they fixed that. So it no longer does that. These guys have protection on them, so I'm going to take it, and we can put it on our armors. You know what, guys? Even if you don't have flight, you can still come to the end, and instead of flying across the gap super slowly on a shitty broom like I did, you can do something smarter, and as soon as you get in, you can just go /RTP. So you can teleport to a random location. I'll show you that in just a second. So you just go /RTP. Oh, you can't do it in this dimension. Never mind. I stand corrected. Here's another broom. That's a little bit better. Ooh, a poison word ring. That's really good. This will give us immunity to poison. So let's go through our things really quickly. We have the power glove, and that is upgraded to level 4. And each hit that we do does 250% extra damage and has a 5-second cooldown. So this is really good. When I attack something and you see those gold particle effects like that, that is the power glove effect happening. So that gives us a lot more damage. 250% more is no yoke. And then we have our night vision goggles. Obviously, that's what gives us night vision. The fire word ring, that gives us immunity to fire and lava. And the poison word one now will give us immunity to poison effects. And we have the withered bracelet. This gives us immunity to wither. So essentially we're immune to fall damage now because we have flight. We're immune to wither damage completely. Fall damage, lava damage, fire damage, and poison damage. So we are impervious to all of those things. Ooh, right around the corner, I found another bigger end city, and this one has a ship, which is phenomenal because I like the dragon head. The dragon head is nice, so we can put it in a extractor, and it'll give us dragon's breath. So we can get dragon's breath easily that way. Right, we'll grab our elytra. These codexes we can do as well. Base modifier almost 4. That's really good. All right, I am satisfied with that. Let's go back home. So what I wanted to make was, I wanted to get started making the power things. So here's the deal. We're going to go to now that we have all the modium, we can go to the mining dimension. So we need the teleport pad, which requires some nuggets. And in the mining dimension, we are going to set up the builder to quarry. This guy. And that requires all the modium as well. So we'll do the machine chassis. And then we will need a lever to activate it. We will need a sophisticated storage thing. So how about we do a barrel? And upgrade that to iron, gold, diamond, netherite. And we're going to want some stack upgrades. And if you're wondering how I can have more than 4 or more than 2 stack upgrades in my sophisticated storage barrel, is because I'm a cheater and I have enabled I changed the configs to be able to do more. All right, we'll stop at diamond. Okay, so that's for that. Telepad we can put, how about over here? And then we will need the Quarry card. So it's the shape card, and then a Quarry card. And we want to make it, do we want to do Fortune Quarry? Or Silk Touch? Let's do Fortune. I don't have a ghast here. Let me go kill a ghast real quick. And we no longer need the room. Alright, with that, let's make the Fortune card. We need dimensional shards, which we have plenty of. If you put clearing, maybe we do want to do clearing. If you don't, it changes everything to dirt, which is nice because it doesn't leave a gaping hole in your world or in the mining dimension. But then we won't be able to go down in there and grab all the modium. So I'm going to do that. Let's go set this up. We'll go 100 blocks or so away, hopefully. And we want to be in the middle of a chunk, so we can chunk load this easily. The builder goes down, and then we put our barrel on top of it with our upgrades in there. The lever will go over here, and we need to set up the shape card, which I'm going to do a solid box, and we'll do 256 by 256, and then the mining dimension Y level is, so we're at 253 now, and I think it goes down to -64. So that's 317 total blocks, and half of that is going to be 158. So we'll say 317, and we want to do -159, I believe. And this guy we want to also offset by 128. How about 929? Okay, and then I like to open up those guys so I can see. Perfect. So it's going to leave 1 block, and it's going to be a 256 by 256 area that it will completely mine. Now, you notice if we turn this on, it has no power, obviously, so nothing's going to happen. We do need to figure out a way to power this, which will be our next thing. So let's go back home. Actually, before I do that, let's chunk load this so I don't forget. That is chunk loaded. Okay, let's go back home and take care of our power. The way I want to do that is by using Magmators from Powah. So we will need bunch of these. Excuse me. You have no right. We'll need a lot of blocks of redstone. Alright, we're making a ton of those. We'll make a stack of these guys. I guess half a stack, that's fine. of that. Okay, so everything starts with these basic capacitors and the magmators. Unbelievable. Okay, the starter one is going to use these tiny ones, and let's say we start out with, I don't know, you tell me, 8? Is that too many? Let's do 12 maybe. We'll see. Oh, that's going to give us 6. Okay, 12 of the basic ones. And now we can do the more advanced ones, or I'm sorry, the starter and then the basic. Okay, so that's 12 of those guys, and that will give us, each one will be 160 FE per tick, so that's about 2,000 FE per tick, which is a great place to start. And the way we're gonna automate this is by using Super Factory Manager, of course. Super Factory Manager, my beloved. And we do need a disk. And also we need a manager. So much easier to craft in here than going through each thing. And the way we're going to move lava into these is by using a quantum entangle porter. If you don't have the things to make the quantum entangle porter, you can also use an ender tank. But we should be able to make it with this. And we'll grab a couple stacks of those. We will need 2 quantum entangle porters. Which means we need 4 of those guys. And 4 of these guys. Okay, so we have the 2 quantum entangle porters and the magmators. Let's go ahead and set those up. We're going to put the inventory cables down below. And 1 quantum entangle porter will go here, and also our manager. And the way we want to code this is every tick we're going to input FE from the magmators, and we're going to output that to the builder. And we will say each side because the builder has a limit to how much power you can put on each side. So if you put it in on all 6 sides, then you basically can put in 6 times as much power. The power limit, I think, is 50,000 FE per tick, and we're only making 2,000, so we're not close to that yet, but we will eventually need it to be that way. And then every 20 ticks too, we're going to input fluid lava from Entangleporter, and we're going to output 4,000 to each magmator. 4,000 fluid lava to each magmator. Okay, we pull the things, we do our magmators, Entangleporter, and builder, and we push all those labels back inside. You can see these guys have a 4 bucket limit. So now we need to bring lava inside of the quantum Entangleporter, and the way I'm going to do that is with create, actually, even though I'm not a huge fan of create. We need the hose pulley. This needs dried kelp. No problem. Hello, shark. And we need copper plates. I am going to make 3 of these guys. And the copper casing, we finger copper on a stripped log. Doot, doot, doot. Okay, so that's also ready. And we need the dry kelp blocks. I guess we'll need 3 of those. And then we will also need what is it called? A crank. And a crank. Okay. 3 hand cranks. I guess we only need 1, but that's fine. And then we need a pipe from mechanism. Why don't we just use these guys, not logistics, mechanical pipes. And we'll take them up to purple. And we will need a configurator to configure that. All right, so let's go ahead and set this up in the Nether. Basically, what we need is a large body of lava, much like this one. And we're going to build a little platform. We can put these guys like so. And the lava will come out of the backside here, and we will put it inside of the quantum Entangleporter. And we are going to pull from this end and push. All right, let's set up our quantum Entangleporter. The side config, I'm going to erase everything. And we want fluids will be input from where that is. So that should connect now. Fluids. It's on push, but I don't know why it won't connect. We need to set a thing. We'll call it lava. Okay, and on the lava, we're going to input not items, fluids, input fluids. Okay, so now you can see that it's going in there, and then we take the cranks and we put it on these guys. And we crank until the hose pulley goes all the way down and stops going down. This part of the process is much faster if you are like right above the lava. So you don't have to go down 50 blocks. Slight oversight. Okay, so now that all three of these are set up, the reason why I have three is because one of them can be slow if it's only one, and it won't be able to keep up once we upgrade our magmators. But this will make sure that we always have a full quantum entangle porter with 256,000 buckets of lava in there. Let's make sure that we go ahead and chunk load this area and go back over here and set up this quantum entangle porter. So something with mechanism, you always have to define a side with any mechanism block. So I'm going to say bottom side on this guy because I always like to extract things from the bottom if I can. And what does it say? It's not detected as a valid inventory, so we set that guy. And at the bottom, we do output. And you see that all of these guys filled up with lava. They're producing power. The power is going in here. Let's reset that. Okay, and we should be getting things. One thing I forgot is we want to void all of these guys. Maybe not the dirt. I guess we could keep dirt. But we certainly want to avoid everything else. Okay, and each slot in here can store up to 4.1 million or almost 4.2 million items. And it doesn't quite have enough power. Really? How much are you using? It is a big area. I think if you make the area bigger, it uses more power. As well as the fortune quarry uses more power. So if we fly all the way over here, we should look how far that is. So all the way from the builder to this corner is half of the area that it's going to quarry. And if you guys look, that's decently fast. Once we get more resources and set up better power generation, we can infuse the builder and it will go even faster. So this will give us our first big supply of items that we can use to make things. Because right now we're very, very poor and we don't really have much of anything. But this will get us started, and then once we do, my plan is to use occultism, and we're going to use the void miners mainly to generate resources since we can't use bees or mystical agriculture. All right, so we will let this guy go for a while, and he will gather a bunch of resources for us, and then we'll be back in the next episode to continue. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.